Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And for our latest update, you can click on the bell beside the subscribe button to get our latest updates. The Guide to Optimizing Shopify. A trend we've been noticing at My Digital World is that more and more of our clients have been using the Shopify platform. While we initially thought this was just a coincidence, we can see that the data tells a different story. The Shopify platform is now more popular than ever. Looking at built with usage statistics, we can see that usage of the CMS has more than doubled since July 2017. Currently, 4.47% of the top 10,000 sites are using Shopify. Since we've worked with a good amount of Shopify stores, we wanted to share our process for common SEO improvements we help our clients with. The guide below should outline some common adjustments we make on Shopify stores. What is Shopify SEO? Shopify SEO simply means SEO improvements that are more unique to Shopify than other sites. While Shopify stores come with some useful things for SEO, such as a blog and the ability to redirect, it can also create SEO issues such as duplicate content. Some of the most common Shopify SEO recommendations are: remove duplicate URLs from internal linking architecture, remove duplicate paginated URLs, create blog content for keywords with informational intent, add product, article, and breadcrumb list, structured data, determine how to handle product variant pages, compress images using Crush, Pix, remove unnecessary Shopify apps. We'll go into how we handle each of these recommendations below. Duplicate content. In terms of SEO, duplicate content is the highest priority issue we've seen created by Shopify. Duplicate content occurs when either duplicate or similar content exists on two separate URLs. This creates issues for search engines as they might not be able to determine which of the two pages should be the canonical version. On top of this, oftentimes link signals are split between the pages. We've seen Shopify create duplicate content in several different ways. 1. Duplicate product pages. 2. Duplicate collections pages. Through pagination, duplicate product pages. Shopify creates this issue within their product pages. By default, Shopify stores allow their products pages to render at two different URL paths: canonical URL path, products; non-canonical URL path, collections. Asterisk products. Shopify accounts for this by ensuring that all collections asterisk products pages include a canonical tag to the associated products page. Notice how the URL in the address differs from the canonical fields. While this certainly helps Google consolidate the duplicate content, a more alarming issue occurs when you look at the internal linking structure. By default, Shopify will link to the non-canonical version of all of your product pages. As well, we've also seen Shopify link to the non-canonical versions of URLs when websites utilize swatch internal links that point to other color variants. Thus, Shopify creates your entire site architecture around non-canonical links by default. This creates a high-priority SEO issue because the website is sending Google conflicting signals. 1. Here are the pages we internally link to the most often. 2. However, the pages we link to the most often are not the URLs we actually want to be ranking in Google. 3. Please index these other URLs with few internal links. While canonical tags are usually respected, remember Google does treat these as hints instead of directives. This means that you're relying on Google to make a judgment about whether or not the content is duplicate each time that it crawls these pages. We prefer not to leave this up to chance, especially when dealing with content at scale. Adjusting the internal linking structure. Fortunately, there is a relatively easy fix for this. We've been able to work with our dev team to adjust the code in the product, grid item, liquid file. Following those instructions will allow your Shopify site's collections pages to point to the canonical product URLs. Duplicate collections pages as well. We've seen many Shopify sites that create duplicate content through the site's pagination. More specifically, a duplicate is created of the first collections page in a particular series. This is because once you're on a paginated URL in a series, the link to the first page will contain page equals 1. However, this will almost always be a duplicate page. A URL with page equals 1 will almost always contain the same content as the original non-parameterized URL. Once again, we recommend having a developer adjust the internal linking structure so that the first paginated result points to the canonical page. product variant pages. While this is technically an extension of Shopify's duplicate content from above, we thought this warranted its own section because this isn't necessarily always an SEO issue. It's not uncommon to see Shopify stores where multiple product URLs are created for the same product with slight variations. In this case, this can create duplicate content issues as oftentimes the core product is the same, but only a site attribute color, for instance, changes. This means that multiple pages can exist with duplicate, similar product descriptions and images. If left alone, this once again creates an instance of duplicate content. However, variant URLs do not have to be an SEO issue. In fact, some sites could benefit from these URLs as they allow you to have indexable pages that could be optimized for very specific terms. Whether or not these are beneficial is going to differ on every site. Some key questions to ask yourself are: do your customers perform queries based on variant phrases? Do you have the resources to create unique content for all of your product variants? Is this content unique enough to stand on its own? For a more in-depth guide, Jenny Hallis wrote a great article on determining the best course of action for product variations. If your Shopify store contains product variants, then it's worth determining early on whether or not these pages should exist at a separate URL. If they should, then you should create unique content for everyone and optimize each for that variant's target keywords. Crawling and indexing. After analyzing quite a few Shopify stores, we've found some SEO items that are unique to Shopify when it comes to crawling and indexing. Since this is very often an important component of e-commerce SEO, we thought it would be good to share the ones that apply to Shopify. Robots.txt file. A very important note is that in Shopify stores, you cannot adjust the robots.txt file. This is stated in their official help documentation. While you can add the index to pages through the theme, Liquid, this is not as helpful if you want to prevent Google from crawling your content altogether. Here are some sections of the site that Shopify will disallow crawling in: admin area, checkout orders, shopping cart, internal search policies page. While it's nice that Shopify creates some default disallow commands for you, the fact that you cannot adjust the robots text file can be very limiting. The robots.txt is probably the easiest way to control Google's crawl of your site, as it's extremely easy to update and allows for a lot of flexibility. You might need to try other methods of adjusting Google's crawl, such as nofollow or canonical tags. Adding the no index tag. While you cannot adjust the robots.txt, Shopify does allow you to add the no index tag. You can exclude a specific page from the index by adding the following code to your theme, Liquid file. % if template contains search % less than meta name equals robots content equals no index greater than % end of %. As well, if you want to exclude an entire template, you can use this code. % if handle contains page handle you want to exclude % less than meta name equals robots content equals no index greater than % end of %. Redirects. Shopify does allow you to implement redirects out of the box, which is great. You can use this for consolidating old, expired pages or any other content that no longer exists. You can do this by going to Online Store, navigation greater than URL redirects. So far, we haven't found a way to implement global redirects via Shopify. This means that your redirects will likely need to be one-to-one. Log files. Similar to the robots.txt, it's important to note that Shopify does not provide you with log file information. This has been confirmed by Shopify support. Structured data. Product structured data. Overall, Shopify does a pretty good job with structured data. Many Shopify themes should contain product markup out of the box that provides Google with key information such as your product's name, description, price, etc. This is probably the highest priority structured data to have on any e-commerce site, so it's great that many themes do this for you. Shopify sites might also benefit from expanding the product structured data to collections pages as well. This involves adding the product structured data to define each individual product link in a product listing page. The good folks at Distilled recommend including this structured data on category pages. Article structured data. As well, if you use Shopify's blog functionality, you should use article structured data. This is a fantastic schema type that lets Google know that your blog content is more editorial in nature. We've seen that Google seems to pull content with article, structured data into platforms such as Google Discover and the Interesting Finds sections in the SERPs. Ensuring your content contains this structured data may increase the chances your site's content is included in these sections. Breadcrumb list structured data. Finally, one addition that we routinely add to Shopify sites are breadcrumb internal links with breadcrumb list structured data. We believe breadcrumbs are crucial to any e-commerce site, as they provide users with easy-to-use internal links that indicate where they're within the hierarchy of a website. As well, these breadcrumbs can help Google better understand the website's structure. We typically suggest adding site breadcrumbs to Shopify sites and marking those up with breadcrumb list structured data to help Google better understand those internal links. Keyword research. Performing keyword research for Shopify stores will be very similar to the research you would perform for other e-commerce stores. Some general ways to generate keywords are: export your keyword data from Google AdWords. Track and optimize for those that generate the most revenue for the site. Research your AdWords keywords that have high conversion rates. Even if the volume is lower, a high conversion rate indicates that this keyword is more transactional. Review the keywords the site currently gets clicks, impressions for in Google Search Console. Research your high-priority keywords and generate new ideas using Moz's Keyword Explorer. Run your competitors through tools like RFs. Using the Content Gap Report, you can find keyword opportunities where competitor sites are ranking but yours is not. If you have keywords that use similar modifiers, you can use merge words to automatically generate a large variety of keyword variations. Keyword optimization. Similar to Yoast SEO, Shopify does allow you to optimize key elements such as your title tags, meta descriptions, and URLs. Where possible, you should be using your target keywords in these elements. To adjust these elements, you simply need to navigate to the page you wish to adjust and scroll down to Search Engine Listing Preview. Adding content to product pages. If you decide that each individual product should be indexed, ideally you'll want to add unique content to each page. Initially, your Shopify products may not have unique on-page content associated with them. This is a common issue for Shopify stores, as oftentimes the same descriptions are used across multiple products or no descriptions are present. Adding product descriptions with on-page best practices will give your products the best chance of ranking in the SERPs. However, we understand that it's time-consuming to create unique content for every product that you offer. With clients in the past, we've taken a targeted approach as to which products to optimize first. We like to use the Sales by Product report, which can help prioritize which are the most important products to start adding content to. You can find this report in Analytics, Dashboard, Top Products by Units Sold. By taking this approach, we can quickly identify some of the highest priority pages in the store to optimize. We can then work with a copywriter to start creating content for each individual product. Also, keep in mind that your product descriptions should always be written from a user-focused view. Writing about the features of the product they care about the most will give your site the best chance at improving both conversions and SEO. Shopify blog. Shopify does include the ability to create a blog, but we often see this missing from a large number of Shopify stores. It makes sense, as revenue is the primary goal of an e-commerce site, so the initial build of the site is product-focused. However, we live in an era where it's getting harder and harder to rank product pages in Google. For instance, the below screenshot illustrates the top 3 organic results for the term cloth diapers. While many would assume that this is primarily a transactional query, we're seeing Google is ranking 2 articles and a single product listing page in the top 3 results. This is just one instance of a major trend we've seen where Google is starting to prefer to rank more informational content above transactional. By excluding a blog from a Shopify store, we think this results in a huge missed opportunity for many businesses. The inclusion of a blog allows you to have a natural place where you can create this informational content. If you're seeing that Google is ranking more blog article types of content for the keywords mapped to your Shopify store, your best bet is to go out and create that content yourself. If you run a Shopify store or any e-commerce site, we would urge you to take the following few steps. 1. Identify your highest priority keywords. 2. Manually perform a Google query for each one. 3. Make note of the types of content Google is ranking on the first page. Is it primarily informational, transactional, or a mix of both? 4. If you're seeing primarily mixed or informational content, evaluate your own content to see if you have any that matches the user intent. If so, improve the quality and optimize. 5. If you do not have this content, consider creating new blog content around informational topics that seems to fulfill the user intent. As an example, we have a client that was interested in ranking for the term CRM software, an extremely competitive keyword. When analyzing the SERPs, we found that Google was ranking primarily informational pages about what is CRM software. Since they only had a product page that highlighted their specific CRM, we suggested the client create a more informational page that talked generally about what CRM software is and the benefits it provides. After creating and optimizing the page, we soon saw a significant increase in organic traffic, credit to Ally Mikola. The issue that we see on many Shopify sites is that there is very little focus on informational pages despite the fact that those perform well in the search engines. Most Shopify sites should be using the blogging platform, as this will provide an avenue to create informational content that will result in organic traffic and revenue. Apps. Similar to WordPress's plugins, Shopify offers apps that allow you to add advanced functionality to your site without having to manually adjust the code. However, unlike WordPress, most of the Shopify apps you'll find are paid. This will require either a one-time or monthly fee. Shopify apps for SEO. While your best bet is likely teaming up with a developer who's comfortable with Shopify, here are some Shopify apps that can help improve the SEO of your site. Crush Pix, a great automated way of compressing large image files. Crucial for most Shopify sites, as many of these sites are heavily image-based. JSONLD for SEO, this app may be used if you do not have a Shopify developer who is able to add custom structured data to your site. Smart SEO, an app that can add meta tags, alt tags, and JSONLD. Yapo Reviews, this app can help you add product reviews to your site, making your content eligible for rich review stars in the SERPs. Is Yoast SEO available for Shopify? Yoast SEO is exclusively a WordPress plugin. There is currently no Yoast SEO Shopify app. Limiting your Shopify apps. Similar to WordPress plugins, Shopify apps will inject additional code onto your site. This means that adding a large number of apps can slow down the site. Shopify sites are especially susceptible to bloat, as many apps are focused on improving conversions. Oftentimes, these apps will add more JavaScript and CSS files, which can hurt page load times. You'll want to be sure that you regularly audit the apps you're using and remove any that are not adding value or being utilized by the site. Client results. We've seen pretty good success in our clients that use Shopify stores. Below you can find some of the results we've been able to achieve for them. However, please note that these case studies do not just include the recommendations above. For these clients, we have used a combination of some of the recommendations outlined above as well as other SEO initiatives. In one example, we worked with a Shopify store that was interested in ranking for very competitive terms surrounding the main product their store focused on. We evaluated their top-performing products in the Sales by Product report. This resulted in a large effort to work with the client to add new content to their product pages as they were not initially optimized. This, combined with other initiatives, has helped improve their first page rankings by 113 keywords. Credit to Jennifer Wright and LaRonda Sparrow. In another instance, a client came to us with an issue that they were not ranking for their branded keywords. Instead, third-party retailers that also carried their products were often outranking them. We worked with them to adjust their internal linking structure to point to the canonical pages instead of the duplicate pages created by Shopify. We also optimized their content to better utilize the branded terminology on relevant pages. As a result, they've seen a nice increase in overall rankings in just several months' time. Moving forward, as Shopify usage continues to grow, it will be increasingly important to understand the SEO implications that come with the platform. Hopefully, this guide has provided you with additional knowledge that will help make your Shopify store stronger in the search engines.